me all this shit.
Rather not break my back. Yet again, I must call upon Alva.
I can't pick up this medium soul gem. Oh, you for real? I hate this game so much.
What'd you do?
Oh, I accidentally hit the escape key. When I was clicking that medium soul gem, my mouse just so happened to be in the perfect position to hit exit Path of Exiles. So that's what we did. See? He doesn't want to play with us anymore. We're Woody in that scene.
Last month, I took an order
We're
for
Woody
bags
in
of
that
copper
scene, and
parts.
he's Andy.
I've already bought all the materials. It costs tens of thousands, and everything has been cut.
I don't want to play
washed,
with
and
you
engraved.
anymore.
It's not finished yet, but today the customer messaged me and said the delivery might be delayed. After customs clearance, the taxes have gone up too much.
That's
TikToker who works as a bulk trade supplier shared in his video the
We're
huge
gonna watch
pressure
some
he's
ads
under
and
after
go
the
on
sudden
stream.
increase in U.S. tariffs.
While we drink a beer.
Yeah, see, they're stuck with all this shit, and like, there's no way that they're gonna be able to sell it to somebody else as fast as they were selling it to the U.S. Like, this really sucks for a lot of business owners over there.
Hey, ask him for bows and shit. That's what he's giving you. Ask him for bows and shit too.
2026.
See, this is the reality. There are not that many economies in the world that can support buying this many bullshit, like, boxes of shoes.
Give me some.
There are some.
This is why, dude. I'm broke. I need shit. Here, I want you to just take this. I want you to take all of it, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't do it, but here's everything that I have. Here, run my pockets real quick.
Yeah, it's massive.
If you're a small startup, it's not such a big deal because you don't ship enough to fill an entire container. But for us, it is hard. Our profit margins in bulk trading are already razor thin.
They still gives
Now
you
with
shit.
a 34% tariff, it's like getting knocked to the ground.
No, you're fucked.
He said the only thing he can do for now is wait. His backup plan is to ship through third-party warehouses in other countries. That's the only way forward.
And that's smart, but you know Trump, like, because the thing is, that's why he got rid of that penguin island.
Oh, I may be just a life-size, human-sized blunt.
And if he doesn't, they're gonna figure this shit out, right? 34%. Now it's 145. Well, I think it's probably a 34% in a different way.
Yeah.
What the total cost of goods are, or something like that.
Why is my friend not ascended yet, bro?
This is obviously a loophole that will be closed.
On April 7th,
bro, you better give me something for this, for you wasting me and my friend's time.
China is filled with anxiety.
Everyone doing foreign trade.
Alright, so what are we doing? What are we doing?
Going to place orders under these
So what are we doing? I got a large. Oh god.
Right?
We're starting
again,
something.
If they're the ones trying to sell all their stuff, and they're stuck holding all of this stuff.
Oh, he's not coming, remember?
What are they gonna do with this stuff? That's a big problem.
Sure, some clothing businesses are still busy, but it's hard to make money anymore.
I'm dead.
US orders only make up part of our business, but there are so many clothing factories in China. If we all turn to Europe and there's no US orders, then think about it. Won't competition at home become even worse? Domestic sales are also weak this year. People just don't have money to spend, so how can this market possibly improve?
Oh, we're not
The
even.
issue is that nobody spends money on useless bullshit.
Oh, I'm
like
glitched.
Americans do.
I can't resurrect.
We are the pinnacle of spending money on useless, stupid bullshit.
Yeah, but no, we're not in a party.
Take advantage of that. It's hard for them to go. You want to know one of the other really big countries that spends a ton of money on useless, stupid bullshit?
Says you can only respond at a checkpoint if the game is paused or all players
It's
are
like,
dead.
the
So
only
maybe
place
if you
they
die.
can go, that's them. Yeah, because now they have a bunch of money, so they're buying a bunch of bullshit too.
On April 2nd, US President Donald Trump
Professional
announced a new
consumer?
round
Yeah.
of global base tariffs, raising rates on dozens of countries. At the time of the announcement, the actual tariff rate for China stood at 34%.
在现行适用关税税率基础上，加征
性
34%关税。
In response, the
Why is
Chinese
that
Communist
racist?
Party announced on April 4th that it
We
would
shouldn't
impose
do
a
that.
matching 34% tariff on all goods
Maybe I
imported
shouldn't
from
do
the
that on
US.
stream. We're streaming, by the way.
Trump then
Yeah,
warned
and
that
you can see how this is asymmetrical, right? Because like obviously like we import way more than they do from us.
he may raise tariffs on China by another 50%.
Which he
The
did.
CCP responded by saying it's ready to fight to the end. While the Chinese government is showing a tough stance, many businesses in China are already feeling the pain.
See, this is not like this is I think where the problem is gonna lie. Is that like we all watched boys like we watched
Anything
that
but
shit from Speed,
Quadrilla.
right? Like China was looking really nice. Do you think they want to go back to how it was? Fuck no. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
On April 7th, a TikToker filmed a clothing factory that had shut down and said the clothing industry is in serious trouble. All the machines in his factory are about to stop. He said this year.
And this is another point with this is that like a lot of this automation and like this technology, it's going to go automation probably in 20 years at the highest. So a lot of these machines and a lot of these factories, I mean, you're building a castle on sand.
Is going to be incredibly tough. That same day, another TikToker posted a similar scene, workers moving goods around inside a clothing factory. He wrote that as soon as the US swung its tariff hammer, the impact finally hit the apparel industry.
See, this is the thing, right? Is like, I wish more people would see this because now, like every single one of these, right? Like each one of these is like, let's say $6.
Can you resurrect me?
Well, that's a box, and it's got $1,000
I still
in it.
can't resurrect.
And there's a lot of those boxes. That's bad. This is propaganda, not gonna lie. It's propaganda? Is it really propaganda to see that, like, I mean, really, is it unfathomable?
You didn't tell me if you could resurrect me or
A
not.
lot of companies in China are now having problems selling things. Fucking obviously they're having problems selling
If I would have
things.
known you
It's-
could
it's
resurrect me, I would have
obvious.
stayed. I thought I was glitching, could be.
Duh. And it's also like whether something is propaganda or not, you're attacking the messenger and not the message. Even if something is propaganda, it can stand on its own merit or not, which is really what should matter.
Well, the core's gone. Oh,
His
there it is.
factory originally had orders scheduled through the end of July, but now over 6,000 down jackets have been put
Yeah,
on
count it.
hold, and their ready-to-ship products are piling up in the warehouse.
Yeah.
He said both offline and online sales are
Oh,
struggling this
yeah.
year.
Dude, I have
Even
the
live
live
stream
circle.
selling isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
With sluggish consumer
Oh, I
demand and
fucking
weak
have
domestic
it.
sales, the foreign trade slowdown is pushing more
It's
exporters.
crazy, bro. Like,
Oh,
look
no,
at it.
no,
Just a
no,
minute. I
no.
want to go back to that.
I went to the Temple of Chaos on accident.
Bro, what's so funny about this is that they're doing the exact same thing with.
Man, it would be so awesome if our buddy could
where
just
it's like,
get his
okay,
trial
if we
of
can get one
chaos done.
account making like 1,000 gold a day, let's get 1,000 gold accounts, and then that way we make 1,000,000 gold a day. And then they totally flood the fucking market, massively drive the price of gold down. Nobody can fucking farm anything for any sort of real value. Everybody's buying gold now, and they're doing this. They're doing the exact same thing with this.
Consumer demand and weak
Farming
domestic
stream
sales,
reviews?
the
Yes.
foreign trade slowdown is pushing more exporters into the domestic market,
Each
creating
one of these
more
years?
excess
Yeah, exactly.
production. He
All
said
your
this
gear
year's
was
apparel
shit.
industry
All
is
your
like a
gear's like
pressure
level
cooker
5,
that
level
could blow
6.
at any moment. This isn't just panic.
Are you
It's worse
coming?
than
I
during the
activated it.
pandemic.
I'm
Many clothing
entering
business owners may lose everything they've built over a lifetime.
the waterway.
Anybody seeing
Are you
potential
coming?
war with China?
Another TikToker
Yeah.
showed the current situation at his
Dude,
factory.
one of my buddies
Because of
just
the
has
tariff
this
hike,
thing
orders
that
have
his
been delayed or
tutorial boss has
canceled.
disconnected
Now
me.
his
Please help.
packaging and printing factory doesn't even have boxes to make. All he can do now.
His thing. It said to tutorial boss keeps disconnecting me.
They
Please
don't
help.
even have boxes to put the shit that they can't sell in.
Like, I don't know. It just
That's
says
pretty
that next to
bad.
his name.
Yeah, that's really fucking bad. God damn.
Yeah.
Is clean the factory. A TikToker shared a video saying that after the US increased tariffs, the impact on China's foreign trade is obvious. He mentioned that when he flies, there are hardly any Westerners on the plane, mostly people from Africa. Also, when entering the US, Chinese people face especially strict security checks.
I'm at Guangzhou Baiyun Airport right now, and the flight is about to take off. This
Yeah, I have
is really
36.
affecting China. If you look around, you can see there are almost no white faces here, mostly African brothers. This shows how tough the foreign trade situation is right now. When I went through customs, they saw my yellow skin and Chinese passport and gave me a hard time. They asked about every little detail: why I'm here, who I'm visiting, where I'm staying, how long I'll be, and what business I'm doing. Traveling abroad is already hard, and now people like me in foreign trade have to
I think that's weird, by the way. Yeah, it's like basically like profiling, but yeah.
face Trump's 54% tariff hike and random
I forgot
checks.
this bow has
On
plus 2
April 6th,
projectile
female
skills.
owner of a laser cutting factory, Liu Ting, posted a video saying that manufacturing
Where am I
in China
getting-
is going to get even
Where
harder,
am I getting my
and she
plus
plans to
1
sell off her
projectiles?
30,000 watt equipment.
Oh yeah, that's my bow.
Yes, you heard me right. I might have to sell the laser equipment I bought last April. I don't need to explain. You could probably guess why. The economic environment is bad, and the trade war has already started. Soon, all manufacturing businesses, especially small ones, will face bankruptcy. This is not an exaggeration. It's the reality.
That's crazy. Is Tony okay? I mean, people ask a lot about that in general. In my opinion, I think that really this is, and maybe this is wishful thinking, but I think that we'll probably have at least like a resolution to this in a couple of weeks at the latest. I do. I think that we'll have some form of resolution where there's at least a discussion of what's going to happen. Most definitely, I maybe a month. I would be shocked if this went on for more than a month. I would, because like again, I mean the Chinese government, I mean like they're totalitarian and very powerful, but at the end of the day, if you completely lose the people and everybody there hates you, this is not
What level are you?
They don't want that to happen. Even if they think that they can control it, they do not want that to happen.
She also said that starting this month, all manufacturing businesses in China will face an unprecedented winter. More and more companies will go bankrupt, lay off workers, and downsize. Many manufacturing owners will end up with insufficient funds and will not survive. Cases in banks, law firms, and courts will pile up. The TikToker estimates that all manufacturing business owners are currently in an anxious, confused, and helpless state.
There's a lot of other, I mean, and also keep in mind that like what she's saying about this in
Oh,
China,
second, I gotta
there are
teleport
people
back.
in the United
Break
States
some
that
shit
feel
down.
the same way because part of their supply chain comes from China. So it's like, this isn't something that's like, you know, like one-dimensionally affecting people over there. It affects us over here too.
Particularly for factories that relied on foreign trade orders, the shrinking foreign demand and declining domestic demand are making it difficult. Many small business owners can't sleep because of worries and fear. They're afraid all the years of hard work will go to waste. They fear they won't be able to pay employee wages or cover rent and utilities. The TikToker revealed that with electricity costs for her equipment already reaching her limit, she has decided to sell her 30,000-watt laser equipment. On April 8th, a TikToker from Zhejiang shared a video saying that she suddenly realized the U.S. tariff increase has also severely impacted non-exporting manufacturers.
No, because you get different stuff from different countries, right? So like even if you're not exporting the final product, it doesn't mean you're not importing or exporting some piece of the process of the product. That's the thing.
It's the Big News Report with Guillermo Rodriguez.
Good evening, I'm Guillermo Rodriguez. It is official. Scientists have discovered aliens on the moon.
Oh, I died. What boss was it? Oh, my. Yeah. I was looking at it. Oh, how was it? He got it halfway down already. Oh, and he died. If he died, doesn't
Be wary.
You're fucked, dude. You gotta do it on your own.
He died on that boss too.
It was easy for me.
What the fuck?
I
Easiest boss on
I don't know what to hear from you. You're a fucking huntress. You should have been able to do it. What level am I? 39? What level are you? What level are you? 46?
I was trying to kill you.
Who are you carrying? Where are you?
I shall overcome.
Where are you?
Waterways.
Me too, but I don't know. I don't see you.
Bye.
I thought you were getting off.
I said that.
You know, I could always try carrying you.
Oh, I don't have a gun.
Yeah, you gotta kill that boss. So I guess we're gonna have to join you and kill that boss. So go to that boss.
See, that's why I wanted to wait. No, keep. He's like, I tried helping you. Down.
Done. Finally.
Like, you do like
No. Maybe if you fucking wait for me. I just got to the checkpoint. Well, I need to look at my skills, but my support gems, but I don't look like I'm gonna have time to. There you are. I see you now. Yeah, it is done. Now what? Trying to encampment. My quest. Yeah, we can do that boss if he's gonna fucking stop going away.
I'm here.
Yeah, well, some of us are just better than the rest of us. No. God, no. No. God, no. If you ever catch me playing Warrior again, slap me.
I don't know, when they add swords or axes.
Yeah. Maybe when they get swords. Because swords is the only thing that's really interesting me. And to find I only was stuck to a club on a Warrior was really stupid. Alright, so what are we doing now? I gotta find Alva at the base of the ziggurat. Where is Alva? I swear to God, dude. Down here? Is this the base of the ziggurat?
Bravo 440, does anybody have a 40 millimeter? Yeah. And a shield. Where's the shield? Hey, is he up there? Do you have eyes on him?
Use cover.
Hey, do we have eyes on that guy?
Walk out with your hands up. Walk out with your hands up.
Well, if you teleport back in here, then it's fine. Just change your quest back to mine.
This unit needs to come to the right. Hey,
What?
get some cover.
What'd you say?
Hey, does this wrap around? Does it wrap around?
The officers need to find a way to flank Nestor's position in the room, but the hospital was designed for efficiency and privacy of the patients. Adrenaline is running high as it becomes apparent that there is only one way in or out of where Nestor is located. They are going to have to go through that door and try to incapacitate him before he can harm anyone else. The breaching team moves into position.
All right. You see where that sergeant's at? I don't know if you can keep it out.
Yeah, I found it.
Who has a 40 mil? Hey, stand by. Hey, leave the slammer. Leave the slammer.
Stay light. We'll call it up. We'll call up the slammer if we need it. Shield coming up, guys. Hey, shield coming up. Slow it down, guys.
Slow down. Slow down.
Sorry.
Hey, Sarge, get out of the way. Sarge, come here. Do you see him? Okay, get the female out first. Female, come. Get the lady out. Get the female out.
No, yeah, no, it's done.
Come out of the room right now. Come out of the room. Get close on. Let's go. Keep your hands where we can see them. Come out of the room. Come on. All right. Keep your hands by your sides. Okay, I'm moving.
Hey, is this the...
You move, man. Let's move in. Let's cuff here are my cuffs. Cuff the guy first.
Hell yeah, I just had a fucking warped quarterstaff drop.
I need one nurse. One nurse.
Bro, why you getting off so early? Let's fucking grind for a little bit. I'm doing some hella damage.
Bravo 440, we have the suspect in custody. Start PES and start homicide as well.
Coming out, guys. Coming out.
So what's the new mercenary bill?
They are able to bring the baby out, as well as Nestor, both alive. The child is miraculously unharmed.
Let's get him out first. Stand by. Hey, whose car is going to be placed in?
Hey, which leg, bro?
Yeah, that shit's stupid.
Yeah, I'm already on.
Bravo 440.
40, we're going to need to shut down the entire 4th floor of labor and delivery. Officers entering the 4th floor.
Up top, all the way up top, all the way up top. All the way up top.
Move this out of the way so they can get you.
Hey, officer down, because the officer down key? Yeah, I got one. Here.
Do me a favor, let's secure this.
What do y'all need? Somebody with shears. We need shears.
I just want to confirm it's suspect in custody. Suspect in custody at 11:20.
Rouse, you're making the calls?
In the aftermath, it becomes a race to make sure that the mother and child are unhurt and that Nestor has been taken into emergency surgery. No matter what the man did, the medical team will do their best to try to save his life. The weight of their 2 co-workers lays over the entire team as Jackie lies dead in the room and Katie Annette was unable to be saved from the mortal wound she had received. Police now have to contend with protecting the crime scene while workers continue to relocate other patients and their families that have been trapped on the floor during the shootout and siege. Downstairs, the hospital entrances have been sealed off by police and the building is on lockdown and in emergency mode. Doctors with special skills in emergency medicine from all over the facility are being called to assist in the emergency rooms. It's not just doctors and nurses headed to the ER, but police officers from the hospital's own department and the city police force. They stand guard to make sure that no one else will fall into the heat of this day. Nestor goes into emergency care for the gunshot wound. Back upstairs, the homicide detectives have arrived and forensic teams aren't far behind. They've got a lot of work ahead of them to secure the scene, move people out of the rooms past it, and to attempt to protect the dignity of the victims of this crime. At some point, what they do here could be brought into court, and even the smallest error in their work could mean the difference in the outcome of the trial. And then, it's over, at least for now. The police officers return back to their duties or go to make out the necessary reports. The hospital staff has to keep caring for their patients, including the one who killed 2 of their own. And the city of Dallas is now getting wind of what happened that day.
In Dallas, a defined active shooter inside a Dallas hospital. 2 medical workers inside Methodist Dallas Medical Center are dead, both killed by a lone gunman who entered the North Oak Cliff Hospital earlier this morning. Police telling us that the person who shot and killed those workers has been caught.
The families of Jackie and Annette would be receiving calls and visits with the terrible news that they had lost someone they loved deeply and who had done so much for the people of Dallas throughout their lives. Nestor Hernandez would remain at the Methodist Hospital for 4 days, recovering from the gunshot wound to his leg, before being transferred to Holden to await trial. He would return to a jail cell, clad in a hospital gown and using a walker to move around. It would take almost 2 years before he saw his day in court. Selena Villatoro would also testify, along with Sergeant Robert Rangel, who by this time had been recognized for valor by the state of Texas for his actions on that day. Selena would be asked how Nestor was acting when he first came into the hospital room.
I thought he was just drunk. That's why he was like being sentimental, like that. Really being up in the room.
I don't know how people with women that hot are that crazy.
I mean, just the way he was talking. He was crying, talking to them.
What video I'm watching?
She would explain that when Nestor drank, he would often get sentimental and cry. This time, though,
I don't understand how people that ugly are with women that hot.
To anger and jealousy.
Drugs.
I guess he gets done talking to them. I think I hear like the doors like in the closet's opening. Like he's like opening the closet door, slamming them, and then next thing I know he like throws the little sliding like disc that they have right there. He throws it and then he like hits me in my head with the gun. He's telling me like just I don't know. He told me like he's serious something like that.
She would go on to say that prior to him throwing the table, she had accidentally knocked over his beer, spilling it everywhere. He became angry, and she pulled the sheet over her head as he raged.
So it indicated that you had the sheet over your head and he was going to hit you in the head with the gun. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you know when he was into the hospital or did you think that you were willing to have a gun at that point?
No, yes, sir.
Did you see where he pulled the gun from?
No, yes, sir.
You just felt him hit you with the gun?
No, yes, sir.
Do you recall how many times he struck you with the gun?
I think the first time was just once. Just once.
Is he making any statements while this is happening? Is there anything he...
I think he was just like saying like that he had told me to stop playing with him, and he was just telling me stuff like that we're gonna die today. Just.
Selena would suffer a laceration to her head from the pistol weapon, as well as bruising to her neck. The pistol, a small and easily concealed one, was lightweight and probably contributed to the relatively small amount of damage she took in the assault.
So just going back to when the defendant is assaulting you with the gun, he's hitting you with the gun, and he's making these statements about killing you all and killing everybody else who comes inside the room. Is the door open or closed at that time? Do you remember?
It was closed.
And so at some point, did somebody else come inside the room while Mr. has the gun?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Who was that?
One of the nurses, I think she was supposed to come in and check on me or something.
Bleed well? Yeah, bro. I've been wanting to do some bleed shit, but there's no like bleed gems.
Walked up and
you can only get lacerate.
Jackie fell over backwards and died almost immediately after being shot. She may have never known that she was in any danger. Let's move over to the testimony offered by Nestor at this moment. In his own story prior to this,
actually, that's a good one. There's some good ones in number 2. I guess they're all in 2 and 3.
Someone had been hiding in the room. He explained that he had the pistol on him at the time
I need strength for
because
this
he had
one.
made
Oh
arrangements
shit.
with someone to sell it later in the day. He said that he had come to the hospital.
Game pauses
at her request
whenever you're
to sign
offline.
the birth certificate.
What happened once you got inside that room that saw that changed the whole situation? Can you tell them what took place?
Okay, when I walked in, my son, he was asleep in the bassinet. I went in there, rubbed his belly. I was like, hey, little man, and so I went and I walked into the restroom. I used the restroom. I walked out. I proceeded to walk out. I started looking for the gun, right? I started looking for the gun. She was like, what you looking for? I said, the gun. And she was like, why? And I said, I got it sold. I said, I talked to dude last night. He wanted to buy it. And so she was like, all right. So I'm on my phone also, you know what I'm saying? Like she said, sentimental. I don't want to sound sentimental. I'm more expressionate or something. I like telling people that, I love them and stuff. And I'll drink a little bit or do some drugs. Hey man, I love you, man. Glad you're in my life. Type. You got the aggressive people and then you got the lovers, I guess. And so.
So when you're sitting there having this conversation, you can tell the jury what it was and make them start pulling the blanket over your head and refusing to talk to you.
I don't recall her putting the blanket over her head. No, I
What
don't.
do you recall happening when you're having this conversation?
I ended up sitting down, and I was like, man, get the gun and stuff. And so I was like, so I'm about to sign the birth certificate and leave. And so I'm texting my brother. My brother called me, and I talked to him briefly, my nieces and stuff. We started talking. She tried to talk to me. I was like, shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh no, she started, she's like, man, you drinking and woo woo woo. And I was like, man, I don't want to do it. I was like, I ain't been drinking like that. And she's like, nah, you drinking? Woo woo. And I was like, man, shut up. I was like, don't even talk to me, man. She was like, nah, you're not supposed to be in here drinking. Woo woo. I was like, don't nobody even know this is a beer. And it looks like a Arizona or something. And she was like, nah, man. She's like, man, they're gonna come in here and see and whatever. And so I was like, bro, I don't even talk to me, bro. I said, man, you really nasty. And she was like, what you mean nasty? I said, yeah, you really nasty, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, well, and I said, man, my shit hurt, bro. I'm just signing the birth certificate, and I'm finna leave. I said, man,
Nestor would then tell the court he told Selena that he knew she had cheated on him because he had contracted a sexually transmitted disease and it had to come from her.
And so she's like, man, she's like, nah, man, she's like, I ain't fucking nobody, and da da da. And so she gets on her phone, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, you need to tell whoever you been fucking with that you got that shit, you passing out that shit. And she was
like, what are you talking about?
I never had an STD before that, so I mean, I knew it was something wrong. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it was when I urinate, when I urinate, it hurts. Yeah.
So you're talking about her messing with somebody else, telling her she needs to tell people that she's probably giving them STDs too.
Yeah, I'm like, because she ended up getting on the phone. I was like, you need to be calling them people and letting them know you passing out that shit.
And what happened as a result of this conversation?
You say what happened to the result?
Tell me what happened next that y'all are having this conversation.
The nurse, she walks in. So she walks in, and Selena, she gets up and she's like, hey, I need to use the restroom. So when she gets up, I get up with her.
You can see how Nestor began to craft his story and his lack of personal responsibility as it continues to grow.
Are you talking about the woman that ended up getting shot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you guys are having this conversation that's going on. Up to that point in time, have you ever threatened that you were going to kill Selena? Or
No, sir. No, sir.
Have you ever threatened Selena that you were going to kill anybody coming in that room?
No.
Did you have any intention of harming anybody?
No, I didn't.
Tell the jury what happened. You just described how you got to the point where the nurse came in the room. Selena wants to go to the restroom. Tell the jury what happened next.
Well, she gets up and I get up with her, and she's walking. No, when the nurse came in, she said, you know, good afternoon or good evening, and I said it back. And Selena gets up and she's like, I need to use the restroom. She had told the nurse, I need to use the restroom, but I got up with her. And so I was like, why you need to go to the restroom with your phone? And she's like, because she, and then the nurse asked, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, everything's okay. And then she said, no, it's not. She was like, I don't want him here. This ain't even his baby. So I slapped her. So when I slapped her, the nurse was like, oh. And so then Selena hit me, and we got into like, whenever I got up, I had the pistol on me too. You know what I'm saying? I had. She ended up before that. Selena had handed me the pistol, and so I had the pistol right here. It's a little pistol. So when I got up holding it too, and she hit me, and so I kind of like I had the pistol in my hand. I don't think the nurse knew I had the pistol in my hand, and so we got into like a little brawl or whatever. And that's when I hit her. I ended up hitting her with the pistol, and that's when the nurse, she's like, stop. She got in between us, and my shirt, the black shirt that I had on, it was already kind of like over me. It was already, cause she was like putting on the shirt too, and so the gun went off. That's what.
Who was pulling on your shirt?
Selena. The nurse tried to stop the fight. She got in between us, and she yelled stop. She's like stop, and next you know, the gun went off, and we stopped. Everything slowed down. You know, I was kind of confused for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing that Selena
know
said,
what I'm saying?
She was like,
"You
what
still
did
here?"
You do? You know, and I was like, hey, man,
What
it's
you
your
doing?
fault. This is your fault. You know, because the nurse, she kind of like leaned forward, and then she ended up falling back. You know?
Did you intentionally shoot this nurse? Or?
No.
Nestor would claim that he did not point the gun at Jackie. He would contend that the gun just went off and that she was an unintended victim. He was then asked what happened next. What was his explanation for the shootings that would follow?
What's the next thing you recall happening
panicked. I panicked. I was like, shit. And Selena, she started screaming. She's like, oh man, I couldn't even understand what she was saying. And I opened up the door, and I opened up the door with my right hand. I opened up the door, and I shot out the door. Boom, boom, twice. I shot the door twice.
Did you see anybody outside the door when you shot?
No, I didn't even look outside. I just shot.
What was the purpose of that?
I was so panicked. I just shot somebody. You know what I mean? I was real panicked. It's like how can I say this? Like a example would be like if my mom or like somebody's mom has like a favorite coffee mug that she drinks coffee with every morning, and you drop it and you break it. And when you broke it, you panic. You're like, oh, and your mom's like, hey, what was that? And so you don't want her to see. You know what I mean? Like you don't want her to see. You just panic. And I try to like, I guess make another distraction or something. I wasn't I wasn't thinking right. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't. No, I didn't even see the second nurse in the hallway.
It doesn't matter whether he saw Annette Flowers in the hallway. His bullet struck her anyway, and her life began bleeding away as the man became more desperate and frantic.
So I went back, the nurse laid on the floor, seeing she's screaming. She's like, oh gosh, and so it's all hectic. I'm kind of panicking, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, shit. And so Selena, she said, get help. And so I turned around. When I turned around, I walked out the door. I tried to walk out the door. I felt the heat just through my leg. Boom. And I stepped back. I jumped back into the room. And I looked down and I was like, they shot me.
And then, in his testimony, Nestor would show the kind of person he really was.
By now, Selena has the baby. She had grabbed the baby at this time, and she's holding the baby. And I'm like, hey, give me the baby. And she was like, no. And I'm like, give me the baby, man. I was like, man, give me the baby, man. Give me the baby. Put him in the crib. Because the crib, the bassinet, is by the restroom. And so I'm thinking, I was like, man, look, they're about to come in here and start shooting, man. They're about to shoot us. And she's like, no. I wanted to put him in the bassinet and put him by the restroom. Because I was like, man, they about to come in. They already shot me. They about to come in here and start shooting. I started feeling the pain. At first, I didn't feel the pain, but now I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh. And so,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know if I sat down in the closet or I sat down in front of the closet. And I was like, shit.
I think you know what he's saying.
Selena's like, she steady screaming. And she's like,
I don't think you know what he's saying, dude.
She right there. I was like, man,
this guy.
Shut up. I was like, shut up.
It's a switch video I'm watching.
So I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I said, man, I'm about to just go out there. I'm gonna just let him kill me, man. I said, all right. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm not going.
Oh, okay, buddy.
And so I was like, I'm not finna spend the rest of my life.
Later, buddy. And yet, he would give himself up. Would he have used the baby as a shield? Thankfully, he was never given a chance, as the police would swarm into the room and immediately incapacitate him. Selena was left screaming in the room, the bassinet nearby covered in blood. On the stand, Sergeant Rangel would offer his own take on what happened that day. He explained that he happened to be on the floor that day at the time for a completely unrelated matter, and just happened to be a couple of doors down when the shooting started. When it first rang out, he said, it sounded exactly like a light bulb had popped somewhere. But the next two shots, fired out the door of the room, left no doubt as to what happened. He saw the wounded nurse come by, blood drops on the floor, and moved into position where he had a better angle and a very slight amount of cover. And then Nestor tried to emerge from the room.
At that point, it's kind of like time to really slow down, and probably hadn't, but at that time I had already made a decision within myself that the nurse had been shot, and I only knew about one at that time. And I told myself, I'm the only one up here right now. would glance to see if McCrail or Jaime Hinojosa had made their way up to the floor, but that one he hadn't. So my mind is telling me if he comes out of the room empty-handed, I'm going to tell him to, keep his hands up and get up on the floor. And I told myself if he came out with a pistol, I only had one option. And that was to make sure that he didn't get out past the room with a gun.
Okay, so what did you do?
When I saw him, he was looking out of the room. He had the pistol, and I fired one time at his leg.
Why did you fire at that time?
Because I fired at that time because I feared for my life. I feared that if he came out of the room, that he was going to try to shoot more people.
And it is most likely that if Sergeant Rangel had not taken that shot, or worse, not been there at all, Nestor Hernandez could well have shot his way out of the hospital, potentially taking more lives on the way. In the end, Nestor was unable to sway anyone to believe that he was in any way innocent. A jury would find him guilty of 2 counts of capital murder. He would be sentenced to life in prison without any chance at parole. At the sentencing, family and friends of the 2 murdered women would speak in court.
Annette devoted her life to taking care of people, just like Jackie did. Everyone in healthcare does. We vow to serve others, even scum like you. After you wreaked havoc that day and stole 2 beautiful souls who undoubtedly were better human beings and more deserving of life than you will ever be, they still saved your life. I hope every day for the rest of your miserable life, you are haunted by their names, faces, and the legacy that you cut short. Although you don't care about any of that, you've shown no remorse for anything.
On that day, Nestor Hernandez ended or ruined countless lives. The 2 women killed had loving families and large networks of friends and co-workers. And without a doubt, his actions will have repercussions throughout Selena's life and that of his newborn son. And in the end, did he ruin his own life? It might be hard to find anyone who would care about that. Jackie Paqua had worked in the social services department at Methodist Medical Center and had received her master's degree in social work from the University of Texas at Arlington. A native of Ghana, she had moved to the United States more than 20 years earlier, but maintained a strong relationship with her family back home. The 45-year-old woman left behind a son. Annette Flowers was 63 years old at the time of the shooting and had worked for 40 years as an RN specializing in working with mothers and their babies. A single mother of 4 herself, she also left behind 4 grandchildren, not to mention all of the lives she had helped to usher in through her long career.
Oh my god, this is frustrating. Sorry guys, I've been buying cards right now, so. Oh shit, broker's ascendancy. Fuck yeah.